Hi, my name is Zach Larson. I'm an educator for the Diagnostic Medical Sonography program at the University of Iowa, where I also serve as the clinical coordinator for the program. As the clinical coordinator, I work with many preceptors across our numerous clinical rotations who help train our sonography students in the clinical setting. There are many challenges that preceptors face while working with students. My goal in today's talk is to help preceptors develop their skills, overcome the challenges of teaching in the clinic, and share strategies for maximizing teaching. Our objectives are to explain how the environment supports or constrains the preceptor's effectiveness and outcomes, discuss issues affecting internal and external stakeholders regarding preceptor strategies, discuss key components driving vision for change, examine precepting styles and team dynamics for the best overall performances, discuss a comprehensive plan to improve communication and teamwork between students, preceptors, and the clinical coordinator, propose a plan to promote diversity and inclusion to utilize the strengths of diverse working backgrounds, map an action plan that promotes the development of preceptors through best practices, develop performance plans and burnout prevention, and discuss leadership philosophy and its application to clinical teaching. The DMS curriculum is designed to prepare students for the clinical environment, including the performance of examinations and competence in the profession. Clinical internships help students develop their psychomotor skills in sonography and better prepare them for the hospital clinical experience. In this profession, students can only prepare so much in their didactic courses before they need to start applying what they learn in the clinical setting. That is why the university's bachelor's DMS program sees students in the clinical setting 5 out of their 7 semesters during the program. Clinical environments that are most beneficial to students' development include rotations with a structured approach to working with students. Firstly, this could include a short orientation for a student who has never been to your rotation, or have a set schedule for a student to follow so they know who they're working with for the day. This allows the student to be more focused on scanning rather than wondering if it's okay to work with someone or just knowing where to send a patient when they're finished with the exam. Second, helping to create an instructional atmosphere that is also psychologically a safe space for students to engage with staff, offering opportunities for questions and advice on improving their clinical abilities, and third, opening communication between the preceptors within the clinical site and their communication with the clinical coordinator as well. This helps everyone understand what techniques might be working for the student to develop or help the staff understand what areas the student needs to work on. For those of you who are preceptors, my simple ask to you is, would you be where you're at today if you didn't have sonographers before you help you in your clinical training? Creating a student-friendly environment sets the precedent for securing the future of internal and external stakeholders in the field of sonography. First, our students will become future employees and potentially our coworkers, and we need them, a lot of them. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics estimates up to 5,800 new job openings in the field every year, which outpaces all occupations by 10% and is 7% greater than other health-related technologists and technicians. Many of these openings are due to retirements and to transfers to other occupations. In my experience as a precepted student, my training was deficient, which led to a lot of dissatisfaction and almost led me to transfer out of the profession myself. Our students go through a rigorous process to get into the program and have a strong desire to become sonographers. It is our responsibility as preceptors to nurture this drive and help them turn it into confidence and skill. Furthermore, our patient population needs and deserves competent sonographers. As the baby boomer generation age increases, so does their need for healthcare. The number of elderly people in the United States is projected to double from 2000 to 2050, and a declining ratio of workers to the elderly is projected to place a heavy burden on the healthcare system. To create meaningful change in clinical teaching, there has to be a clearly defined vision. For me, that vision is creating a more structured, supportive, and consistent experience for both preceptors and students. Right now, there can be variability in how students are trained, depending on the site or preceptor. My goal is to reduce that variability by providing clear expectations, stronger communication, and leadership support. A strong vision not only defines the direction, but also helps engage others in the process. When preceptors understand the why behind the changes, they're much more likely to buy in and actively contribute. My leadership style is best described as a combination of servant leadership and a coaching approach. Working in sonography for over 15 years, I've learned that people respond best when they feel supported rather than directed. I focus on being present, approachable, and consistent, while also guiding others to think critically and develop their own skills. This is especially important when working with preceptors because they are balancing patient care with teaching responsibilities. My role is to not control their approach, but to support them, remove barriers, and help them succeed in both areas. Human relations play a critical role in building a high-performing clinical team. My approach focuses on improving both communication and teamwork to create a more unified and supportive environment. First, I emphasize clear and consistent communication through structured check-ins, defined expectations, and open dialogue between students, preceptors, and myself as the clinical coordinator. I also prioritize two-way communication where team members feel comfortable asking questions, sharing concerns, and other feedback. To strengthen teamwork, I incorporate mentorship and shared accountability so individuals understand both their role and how they contribute to the larger mission. When communication is strong and relationships are built on trust, it naturally leads to a more cohesive and high-performing team. Diversity and inclusion are essential in both education and patient care. My experience working in multiple clinical environments has shown me that there are many different ways to approach patient care and teaching. Because of this, I aim to create an environment where different perspectives are valued and encouraged. This includes incorporating feedback from students and preceptors, ensuring expectations are clear, and promoting respect across all interactions. By embracing diverse experiences and backgrounds, we not only improve team dynamics, but also better prepare students for real-world clinical practice. It's important to identify when coaching will be delivered to the student. Coaching can come before, during, and after an exam. The majority of coaching comes after the exam, and that's the first skill in this development plan I'd like to focus on. A practical skill to use for effective clinical teaching is the use of the 5 W's method, and after the exam coaching micro skill. The what gives the student an opportunity to problem solve and take responsibility, as in, what do you think went well on this exam, or what didn't go well? The why, this helps identify learners' reasons why it did or didn't go well. You can ask why you feel that way and why did you come to that conclusion. The when, this is the opportunity to insert teaching moments. You take the information given from the first two questions and offer an explanation for their success or failure. When you move the transducer in this direction, X will happen. The what's working, tell them what they are doing right. It helps reinforce and continues effective behaviors and habits of good scanning techniques. You can do this by pointing out specific outcomes, such as when you have the patient breathe, the image quality improves significantly, and I could visualize the structure better. And finally, the whoops. This is your opportunity to correct mistakes, and it should discourage the learner from performing the same mistake. Also, your learner may work with a lot of other preceptors during the clinical internship. So it gives you the opportunity also to correct any misconceptions or misaligned information. Improving professional performance requires attention at multiple levels: organizational, team, and individual. At the organizational level, this includes creating a structured onboarding and training process. At the team level, it involves improving communication, collaboration, and accountability. At the individual level, it focuses on ongoing feedback, skill development, and preventing burnout. By addressing all three levels, we can create a more sustainable and effective clinical teaching environment. My leadership philosophy is centered on supporting others, building trust, and creating an environment where people can succeed. Through my experiences in both clinical practice and education, I've learned the importance of staying connected to the front line, and I understand the challenges people face. I also recognize that leadership is a continuous process of reflection and growth. By evaluating my strengths, areas for improvement, and the impact of my leadership on others, I can continue to evolve and better support preceptors. Ultimately, my goal is to lead in a way that empowers others, improves student outcomes, and elevates patient care. I'd like to share with you briefly some of the supporting documents that help create this presentation today. This is the Preceptor Development Roadmap. These are my references that was used on today's presentation. Thank you for your time and attention on today's presentation. I hope you sincerely consider this new approach to preceptor teaching. Thank you.